Everybody, how you doing? Rich with Prep U here with another video. Well, it is Tuesday, and we all know on Tuesdays it means prepping tip of the week, and this one's kind of a doozy. You've all heard about it, the shortages, the increases, and stuff like that. But here's my take on it. All right. Um, the big kicker was not that long ago. I read a report and then saw a report about China's power issues. Matter of fact, saw it on CNN 10. At the high school, we subscribe to CNN 10, and the kids get to see 10 minutes from CNN every day. I know what you're saying. CNN, really? Is there, alternative? Well, yes and no. But anyhow, it was a article or a video segment about China's power issue. And they actually talked to some of the people in China about it. All right, can you believe that, they're telling you the truth? Well, the way they said it, you kind of can. Some of the residents were saying that when they've had power outages in the past, they've been industrial only, and they've kind of gone around to the different industries and shut down their power, but never to the population. Now it's reached to the population. They also made note that some industries don't have any issue with getting power. Their problem is raw materials. They're just not getting the raw materials in, and that is an issue. I suppose you can all go back and blame this on COVID-19 regulations and people not working and the raw material not being mined or made or recycled or whatever like that. But obviously it's a trickle-down thing. If you know anything about business and global markets and all that kind of stuff, basically it starts with a raw material, and then somebody with the idea to take that raw material, make it into a product, people to invest, but I'm preaching to the choir here. We all know where that goes. So the biggest problem is power issues in China and raw material shortages across the world. Now, to add to that, last time I went to the recycling center with brass, the guy said to me, he said, "Boy, you came at a really good time because brass just went up." I said, "It just went up?" He says, "Yeah, it went up almost 35 cents a pound, which is really unheard of, but they need it. We know that a lot of manufacturers use brass, obviously, in bullets. Brass is used mostly, although you will find a lot of steel, painted steel, aluminum, and other alloys coming from different places. And there's a video out there on that you should check out if you haven't seen it. It's about foreign ammo. And I'm not going to say that just foreign ammo uses aluminum, because if you look at a lot of your personal defense ammo, it's in aluminum, or it's in a combined type metal casing. So that's the only aluminum I shoot, but that's for another day. That's for Thursdays. That's for on Thursdays when I put out tips from the range. So let's stick with this. So let's stick with empty shelves and increase in cost. So the thing that I got from it was their military manufacturing is running full speed ahead, and it's actually using other raw materials and a lot of the electricity in the country. And a couple people in the video also alluded to that, and not so like saying it's the military's fault in China. But we all know what China wants to do. They definitely want Taiwan. They want the South China Sea. They would love to get Australia, New Zealand, and Indonesia, obviously, under their control. Boy, does history repeat itself or what? Do we have any Neville Chamberlains running around right now? I don't know. So hopefully you younger viewers of this understand what I'm talking about. So you got the China power shortage. You got shortages in raw materials. Here in the U.S., there's a couple things. Although apparently President Biden and Pete Buttigieg, now that he is off of paternity leave, actually struck a deal with the longshoremen off in California to unload some of these container ships. The biggest problem now with some of those container ships, there's no crews to bring them in. So they're having to find crews because the crews sitting there in the ocean off of the coast of California aren't getting paid, and they need to get paid. So they basically left, and they anchored the ships out there. And we all know what happens when you anchor ships out there. They hit oil pipelines. But that's the issue. Now they've got to figure out how to get those container ships in and unloaded. And supposedly it's going to be 24/7. We'll see. All right, there's a lot of raw materials out there. This is also what happens when a country relies on other countries to produce their stuff. We also know in America there is a chicken shortage. Chicken prices are way up. We, matter of fact, just had wings this evening, and the costs at our favorite wing place were up. It's because if you have a chicken shortage, you obviously have a wing shortage, you know. We've got fields that aren't planted or not being picked because of COVID, and because of a lot of states are still paying people extra money. The state I live in, Illinois, thank you, Governor, are still paying an extra $300. I don't know if that's a week or what it is, because I'm not on unemployment. I work 3 jobs. Not because I have to, because I want to, okay? So people are still staying home, making more money. Matter of fact, I talked to my postman today, and he was saying they can't get people to stay. We can't get people to stay at school or at Point Blank. They just, no, they come in, they work a little bit, and then I guess they go back on unemployment. So there is a manufacturing shortage. People aren't making it. People aren't picking it. People aren't delivering it. Go to Amazon. You'll find out that there are a lot of things up there not available. Fuel costs. Fuel costs are must be from Boston, are at a 7-year high. So you've got the cost of delivery of those goods right from the beginning of manufacturing to the store, to the retail area. Costs are up there, so that's going to cost you more. Taxes. A lot of people are holding on to their money because they don't know if the taxes that the Biden administration is going to inflict on us is going to be retroactive, just like Clinton did in the first year of his presidency. So that people are holding off on investments. And what does that mean? That means that a lot of these businesses that put money back into their business or their industry or whatever are not doing that because they don't know where their tax liability is going to be, and where it's going to fall and who's going to get hit the hardest. They say corporations and the rich, but we'll see. You can't tax a corporation because a corporation isn't a person. They pass it on to you and me. More economics for you right there. Farm costs are up. I heard a little article, not an article, but a little snippet from an onion farmer, one of the largest onion farmers in the U.S., and his costs are up 40%. And he said, well, for me to make any profit, I have to increase my onion costs to the market by 50% because, you know, all the costs of fuel and labor and all this. And he says even if he can get labor, most of his stuff is done with machinery. Good for him. But it's still, his fuel costs are up, his taxes are up, all the pesticides and fertilizer costs are up. Like I said before, workers are making more to stay at home and not making the goods, but they have a whole lot of money. So they're paying people to stay home and giving them more money to buy products that they're supposed to be at work making, so other people and they can buy those products. But there's no products because they're not making them, but they're sitting at home and have more money to spend on products that aren't on the shelves. I don't know where that logic comes in, but it certainly wasn't taught in my management school, I'll tell you that right now. Um, there's that constant worry about China and Taiwan, and I saw a video on TikTok the other day about an order coming from the Joint Chiefs of Staff to all military personnel that if you do not get the jab, you will be court-martialed. And according to this one guy, and I did look into it further, and there was some truth to what he was saying, 12 F-22 Raptor pilots walked off the job. 17 crews of mid-air refuelers walked off because they said, we're not getting the jab. So as we get weaker, the military, and as these other the countries get stronger, what's going to happen between China and Taiwan, and what's going to happen in Southeast Asia and in Indonesia and other places? And if our military starts to collapse, what do we look like? I don't know. Especially if we don't have food on the shelves, we're internally fighting with ourselves. It's a big issue that we have to think about, and it's all because of COVID and all because of mandates, apparently. So, but on a happier note, the holidays are coming. But I understand there's plenty of turkey, so we got that going on at the store and in Washington, D.C. But as you've heard from everybody else, now is the time to buy it if you see it. And that not only includes your prepping stuff, but that includes any Christmas gifts, Hanukkah gifts, Kwanzaa gifts that you are going, or Festivus gifts that you're going to give this year. It's a really good idea to talk to your family members, see what they want for the holidays. Maybe they want cash. Maybe they want food for patriots. Maybe they want, other stuff like survival gear. Always a good choice. And get it early, whatever it is, because just like Tickle Me Elmo was quite a few years ago, you couldn't find the damn thing. They weren't on the shelves. They were nowhere. And then lo and behold, a week before Christmas, all of a sudden they popped up again. Not a great business model, but 'cause I'm sure they lost a lot of money on that by not having them on the shelves. But anyhow, sorry about this. I keep digressing. It's my business keeping degrees coming back to haunt me, I think. But my word to all of you is get out there, figure out what you need for the holidays, get it now, and get more than what you need so you have it. Talk to family members, buy the stuff for Christmas. If you got grandkids and kids, especially small kids, they're not going to understand any of this. Even some of the older kids aren't going to understand. But you know what they like? Gift cards and cash. Cash is still king. Try gold and silver. That's a great investment too, for the future. But yeah, I just wanted to give you my take on the empty shelves and increase in costs and inflation and stagnation and all that kind of good stuff possibly coming down the line. Happy holidays, people. Isn't that great? But that's it. This is Rich with Prep You, with our prepping tip of the week: buy early and often. And you in Chicago know about that because you do that voting. But that's it. Subscribers, thank you so very much. Hey, if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. We could use more of you. We're a little over 1,400 subscribers. I love it every day, and moving right along. So until then, as always be aware of your surroundings. And that includes not only in your community, your state, your country, but in countries around the world and what's going on geopolitically. Also, please have plenty of food on hand if you have to shelter in place. Remember, winter's coming, storms are coming. It's supposed to be a colder, wetter, which means snowier winter. Make sure you have at least 3 months of food per person and enough water for all of you to shelter in place. And if you have to bug out, make sure you at least have 72 hours of food to get you where you're going. And please, prep like your life depends on it, because it really does. Thanks a lot. Talk to you next time.